Yep, Wednesday means it's Q&A time, and thanks to all of you that submitted your questions. Information on how to get your questions submitted and answered in future Q&As is down below in the description box. So read while you watch and listen to this Q&A. Let's get started. At Trayon13 asks, do you think that WWE will buy TNA? No. I just don't see where the appeal would be for a WWE to buy a TNA if and when that moment ever occurred. And I'm not saying that that moment ever would occur or arise. I just don't see where the appeal to the WWE is. Where do they think that investing in that video library or in the name rights really brings them anything at all? I don't think they have any interest, nor would they. Also ask, who will become a bigger star in WWE, Kenta or Prince Devitt? When in doubt, guess the white guy. Hate to put it that simply, but I'd guess Devitt at this point, still proven otherwise, based off WWE's history. At Real Matt Hendricks, if Sting Taker doesn't happen at WrestleMania 31, could they do Sting versus Triple H? Well, I suppose they could do it. They could do whatever the hell they wanted. I suppose the bigger question, more important question is, should they do it, and do we want to see it? No, I don't think they should do it. And no, I really don't particularly have any interest in seeing Sting wrestle a Triple H at a WrestleMania. If we were going in an ideal world and it's not Sting wrestling Taker, another guy that jumps out to me big time as needing the exposure that would come with feuding with the Sting between, let's say, Royal Rumble to WrestleMania time, I would have to go with Bray Wyatt. That's the most logical choice to me. That's the most logical option at this point in time. But I guess only time will tell. We will see where they go. At WWE 961 asks, what was your favorite year of Raw and your favorite year of SmackDown? Favorite year of SmackDown, I think, would probably be 2003. We were doing a lot of good things on that show at that time, and it was definitely the better show for me to watch compared to Raw, back when the brand split was actually the brand split, and each brand had their own unique identity and creative direction. I thought SmackDown as an overall product was kicking the shit out of Raw on a week-in, week-out basis. I'll take SmackDown probably 2003. In terms of Raw, 1998 was great. But I'll go with 97 because I think it's more important, more historically significant. And I think some equally big and important things happen. Maybe some bigger and more important things happen. And you could see in 97, again, as I talk about in the Summerslam review series, which has started on this channel, when it comes to 97, I really like that year because, to me, that's where they laid the foundation. That was what was setting up to what would go on to become the Attitude Era. That was where you started to see the shift in creative direction. That's where you started to see new stars. That's where you started to see new faces being developed and built into future top guys. So I probably go with 1997. You throw in DX, you throw in the Nation, you throw in the freaking Hart Foundation and Team Canada, if you will. Just an outstanding time. A lot of cool stuff back in 97. That's perhaps my favorite year of Raw. At Dustin Nunn asks, I have a question for you. That's probably why you asked. What are your thoughts on David Benoit becoming a wrestler? It's a free country. He's a free Canadian. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he could do whatever he wants. If that's what he chooses to do and that's what he wants to do, I wish him the best and I give him my support. You know, if that's what he wants to do and that's the road he wants to go down, then that's fine. Now, of course, it's going to be very awkward because there's always going to be that cloud hanging over his head of he's who you know who's son. And then let's say he ever did somehow make it to the WWE. You know, they can't sit there and talk about him being second generation. They can't really bring up his dad's heritage or legacy. So he truly solely have to be able to make it on his own. And at a time where the idiot fans of the WWE still chant for a CM Punk, even though he's been gone for 6 months, get fucking used to it, hashtag deal with it. I'd have a lot of concerns about bringing David Benoit in, and once people realize that that's Chris Benoit's kid, that they would start chanting for him. And, you know, again, I don't put anything past the fans of the WWE. So I'd have my concerns about it. I think he might have to live a life on the indie scene. And maybe he could. And maybe he could make some money there. Maybe he'd go to Japan and make some money. I think there's opportunities there for him. I'm not sure if it would be my choice. But again, just because it wouldn't be my choice doesn't make it a bad choice or doesn't make it the worst choice for David. That's up to him to decide. It's his life. He should choose to live it however legally he chooses to live it. At Torquemaster asks, with Stephanie being on Raw this week, does that technically count as God being in the main event since he's been inside her? Yes. That's a wonderful and terrific way of looking at it. Since God has been inside of her and she has given him 3 daughters, which don't blame the guy. In this case, it is clearly her fault. She is a McMahon. He is God. There is obviously a drop off there in the genealogy. Clearly her fault that they've got 3 freaking daughters. But since he's been inside of her, since they have merged, he's a part of her. That means it was a main event for him. Outstanding question. At Dexter's C73 asked, did The Rock's Hollywood success make the WWE gun shy about creating new stars? Absolutely. Absolutely. There was a lot of fear that you make somebody too big of a star, then they're going to go Hollywood and they're going to leave. That's part of the reason why they went to the Fortunate Four of, like I said, Cena, Orton, Batista, and Edge, guys that they felt at the time they could draw money with that could become decent-sized stars, enough to keep the company profitable, but we're never going to be really a threat to go off and leave anytime soon to go make movies and do other stuff. And they were largely right. I mean, yeah, Batista left in 2010, but they got 5 years of top-flight stuff out of him when he wasn't injured. Edge had to retire because of the neck injury. Orton and Cena are still there. I think just as much as The Rock, though, you got to look at the Brock Lesnar effect, which, again, just astounds me so much why so many idiots actually want to see him and Cena at SummerSlam. Do you not understand that Lesnar is a contributing factor to the John Cena problem and the John Cena monster that the WWE's created for the almost past 10 years now? Because after Brock Lesnar left, they really had to go conservative, and they really became afraid, to rock the boat, and really became unwilling to push anybody up above a certain level if it wasn't a Cena or a Triple H or what have you. So why would you cheer for the guy now that helped create the problem that you're rebelling against that you dislike? That makes no sense to me whatsoever. At Junior1485672, nice Twitter handle. Who really killed TNA? Well, technically TNA is still alive, as far as I understand, which is why I really haven't commented on it too much in a video or anything. The ongoing negotiations, between TNA and Spike TV are still ongoing. So technically TNA is still around, still alive. So nobody has killed TNA. You might say figuratively who put TNA in the position it's in. You could say Dixie Carter. You could say her bringing in Hogan and Bischoff. You could say it's a years of this and that, Jeff Jarrett. But the bottom line is why you could say that figuratively. Literally, they're still alive. They still are breathing. They still have a pulse. So I'm not going to say any one individual killed TNA at this point in time, even though I think Spike TV deserves some credit and blame in terms of the position that TNA finds itself in as a company. At Wrestling Crisis, when using the 5-tool system and looking at Dean Ambrose, how many of the 5 tools would you give him? Obviously can talk. I think he could tell a story in the ring, which is what's most important. I think he has an ability to connect with the audience. He has a uniqueness to his character for the WWE at this time. Does he have the WWE look? In today's WWE, I suppose, traditionally no. So he'd probably grade somewhere in the 4 to 4.5 out of 5-star range. And that's a video I need to do pretty soon, don't I? I need to talk about Reigns and Rollins and Ambrose and Wyatt and some of these other guys and put them to the test against the tools system, my 5-tool system, if you will. But yeah, 4 to 4.5 stars, or tools, if you will. At the 420 Blazer, what are your top 5 surprise Rumble appearances you would like to see at next year's Royal Rumble? Top 5. I always want to see Eugene come back at a Royal Rumble. I'd like to see Hurricane come back at a Royal Rumble. I think that'd be pretty cool. Jake the Snake Roberts, Psycho Sid, and then Sting. Those are probably the 5 that I'd most want to see next year. Will I get any of them or some of them? We'll see, but I doubt it. At Mefe Talk asks, Dino Bravo in the Hall of Fame, Jeff Jarrett back on WWE TV, or Cena Orton as the main event of WrestleMania 31. Which one's worse? Can't remember if I answered this question in the last one or not, but I put it in here anyways. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Cena Orton in the main event of 31 would be train wreck bad and awesome in its own way. Jarrett back on WWE TV would be terrible, but nothing would be worse than Dino Bravo besmirching the WWE Hall of Fame with his name, likeness, and lack of legacy. So I'd probably go with Dino Bravo. You know what the best part about Dino Bravo is? You guessed it, kids! He's dead. Bang, bang! Wonder if he could smoke cigarettes out of his 18 bullet holes. Maybe he should use those bullet holes to smuggle those cigarettes. Anyways, at JGore492, if Rock does wrestle one more match, who do you feel that his last opponent should be? Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar? Brock is technically a match we've seen before, but it would definitely have appeal. It would definitely grab some mainstream fans for that match. But then I look at Roman Reigns. You're talking about a Samoan lineage. You're talking about family. One generation of Samoans passing the torch to the next generation of Samoans. I personally would probably rather see Rock versus Reigns. That's just me. A lot of you probably say Rock and Brock, and I'm not going to shit on you for that because there's a lot of appeal to that type of match as well. At A_Inyahosa19, would you rather see a God versus Roman match end via pinfall or crucifixion? How about a resurrection? Or death, then resurrection. That's what I'd love to see. Because as much as God always talks about in his matches that he's going to kill somebody, promoting murder apparently, we never see anybody actually die in one of his matches. So what about if he died, even though he's God? That makes him immortal. He couldn't technically die, but he could pretend because he's God, so he could change the rules because he's God. And he died, and then after 3 seconds, he was resurrected. Oh, that'd fucking be awesome. Otherwise, I'd go for the crucifixion. And at D_MFA closes out this Q&A by asking all the current divas or knockouts, which is your favorite and least favorite to look at? Just to look at, huh? My least favorite diva to look at would probably be Paige. My least favorite knockout to look at would have to be Gail Kim. Favorite knockout to look at. Ooh. Not really a lot of my flavor there, so I'll go more on the new side and maybe say Brittany. In terms of divas, Naomi. Yeah, that'd be it. That'd be the one, I think. Not a lot for the Schleg Daddy, as there typically isn't when it comes to the divas or knockouts. But anyways, thanks again to all of you that submitted your questions for this Q&A. I'll be back Friday with the Facebook Friday edition of the Q&A. You want your questions answered in the future? Make sure you check out the description box on the information on how to get that done. Make sure you check out all the other great content on this channel. You know, this week's Raw review, Impact review, Summerslam review series, the other commentary videos that I'm doing. Check it all out. Do it, do it. You have a life? No, you don't anymore. You watch my videos, damn it.